Okay, today's video is for the Mfc9970cdw. Today we're covering rebuilding the fusee unit in one of these machines. This machine is also sold as the printer only version, which is the HL4150CDN, 4570cdw, this style of machine, which has the DR340 drum units, TN348 toners, the machine's basically the same for the past 10 years. Internally, the drum unit also comes in a blue version, which is the DR341. These are the codes for Australia. In the US, they use different codes like DR310, 320. There's one of these little stickers. I'll pause it. So yeah, if your machine is on this list, then what we're doing today applies to your machine. So here's the toner codes used in all around the world: TN325, 345, 375, TN348, 340, 341, TN346, TN349. So we'll close it up and we'll show you what happens with this machine's fusee unit. So there's a few other videos I've made repairing fuses in brother machines. Generally the same principle applies with the other colour machines I've covered. And just like in the video for the 9330, 9340, DCP 920, the rollers that we're showing that we're going to replace today, they're available on my website, fixitfastelectronics.com. You can also buy the rollers on our eBay web store. And just like with the 9330, there are also counterfeit rollers available for you to buy on eBay and AliExpress and Alibaba and Taobao. The difference with us is, you know that when you buy the roller from us, it will work. It won't overheat, it won't underheat, it just simply works. And just like with the 9330, you can melt this fusee unit down if you buy one of these cheap counterfeit knockoff rollers. So these machines, the same happens with the fusee unit on this as it does with the 9330. You can see here the roller's all torn up in the middle, and I can just rub the toner off. The toner isn't fusing. Do the same here. And this machine has done 101,000 pages. They got pretty good value with this machine because this fusee unit is rated at 100,000 pages. And of course they've managed to get 100,000 pages before this fuser has shut itself. So if we go around to the back of the machine and have a look, we'll simply pull the door down, pull the inner green tabs down, The inner door comes down, and we should be able to see the damage that this fuser has sustained after 100,000 pieces of paper have gone through it. So we've got the tearing here, and of course a big chunk where the roller has started to fail. And yep, so that's what we're going to fix today. I'll probably pause the video for a bit just to let this fuser unit cool down, because now that we've done this test print, this thing's at 200 degrees Celsius. I don't particularly want to get my fingers burnt. So the first step to pulling this fuser unit out of this machine is you have to unclip this hook here and this hook over here, and the rear door just simply comes down. You don't want to remove the rear door, you can just simply let it hang. Next step is we have to remove this screw right here. That's to take this cover off. Then we're going to remove this screw here, and it's going to take this cover off. And once again, we're going to do it one-handed, because I'm the one-handed printer repairer. So if I can do this one-handed, then you should be able to do it very easily two-handed. Take this screw off. Okay, so those screws are out. Now this cover over here has a little clip right there, so you've got to push the clip down, and then that releases the cover. This little plastic clip locks it in. So we might just do this so you can see it. You can see that goes down there. So you push it down, and you can see it's unclipped, and then that simply just comes up and out like so. Now on this side there's no clip, but it clips down here, but it's sort of a raise up, raise down locking clip. So you move the thing up, and then we pull it out. And it simply comes out like so. And it's that easy. So we'll just set them down. We've got left and right. Now we've got the inner paper feed door that has locking pins. One's in here and the other one is over here, and you just simply slot into the holes like so, and this comes out. Next step, so we will remove the 240 volt or 110 volt power cable to the heater lamp. It's got a push down clip, so you simply push it in like so and pull it out. You can see there the clip that locks it in. We move on to the sensor cables. Now once again, I'll show you again how to remove these without ripping or damaging the little circuit board down here, which seems to have become really quite common. What you do is you grab both leads and you pull on both leads with equal amount of pressure. Do not grab one lead by itself and pull on one lead, because you'll rip the cable out of the plug. So we grab both leads, equal amount of pressure on both leads, and pull, and that separates the plug from the socket inside. Same again with the thermistor cable sensor. You grab both leads get a firm hold of it, and equal amount of pressure, and pull, and that simply lodges that out. Next step is we have to remove this screw over here, this screw over here, and then the whole fuser can simply pull out. We undo this screw, and when you're doing this, it's a good idea to do it with a magnetized screwdriver so you don't lose the screws. Need a bit more magnetism on that screwdriver. Undo this screw here. And we pull that screw out. Alright, now that's all that holds this fuser unit in on this machine. You simply grab it in the middle and pull the fuser unit out. And that's very hot because we only just used it. Anyway, you can see the damage there on this fuser unit. And by the looks of it, someone's already been into it with a knife. You see the big horizontal cut on it there. So yeah, someone's had a real good hack at this fuser unit. They've probably had a paper jam in it, and rather than calling for a technician to remove the jam, they've ended up getting into it with a Stanley knife, cut the jammed paper off, and damaged the fuser in the process. In this machine, the cleaning rollers for the separator fingers, so these 4 fingers here, one here, one here, one here, and one here. The cleaning rollers are on the body of the machine of this one. They're not built into the fuser unit as they are with the 9330 and 9340 machine. The cleaning rollers are here. These ones are quite dirty, not to be surprised after 100,000 pages. Now all you have to do with these rollers is you can get a Stanley knife, and you just simply, it's like masking tape. You've got a plastic roller, and around the plastic roller is just like one layer of masking tape. And yeah, all you have to do is just simply cut the outer layer off, scrape it off. You can leave it as straight plastic if you want to, or you can just get some thin masking tape, you know, the sort of masking tape they use at panel beating shops, spray painting shops to mask cars off, and you just put one layer of masking tape around it, and then these cleaning rollers are good to go again. I might show you a bit later on if I got time. Alright, so we'll just pause the video and then we'll move into the rebuilding of the fuser unit. Alright, so here's our fuser unit. It's cooled down a bit. We're ready to start rebuilding it. Oh, incidentally, if you want to make a screwdriver magnetic, if your screwdriver is not that magnetic, I don't know if this is common knowledge, but you can just get an old speaker from any old speaker with a nice big magnet on the end of it. If you just grab the speaker, put your screwdriver on it like that, run it along, lift it up and pull it, and you do that a few times, that will make any screwdriver, iron based of course, magnetic. And yeah, That's how you make a screwdriver magnetic. Anyway, so back on to the job today. So we need to get this black roller out. It's quite difficult in this particular fuser unit. It isn't as easy as in the other videos I've made. Now if you have a look at this bottom roller on this particular fuser unit, this fuser unit has done 100,000 pages of printing. We know that because we sold this machine to the customer and we've been monitoring it, and then yeah, they got they had a paper jam, they got into it with a knife and damaged the top roller. If you have a look at this bottom roller is in really good condition, having done 100,000 pages of printing. It's a perfectly good candidate to reuse this roller. We're going to reuse it because it is in such good shape. There's no wrinkles, no marks on it, and yeah. So if you do find that your bottom roller is looking a little bit dodgy, we do also sell the bottom roller on our website. Just go over to fixitfastelectronics.com and you can order it there. We do free shipping worldwide. That's regular shipping, so we use DHL for most international orders. Australia, we use Australia Post. Being DHL, if you're in like Germany, you get the roller very, very quickly. It's usually only like 3 or 4 days till you get the roller, being a German company. US is around 10 to 14 days. And UK is about the same, but as all the freight goes straight from our manufacturer straight to Frankfurt, the freight is really quite quick for European regions. Alright, so what we've got to do is we've got to separate this roller from the upper roller. It's held in by these springs here. There's one spring here and there's one spring over here. Now to release this spring, you need to get yourself some needle nose pliers. The more needle the better. And all you have to do is there's a convenient plastic tab here. You stick one end in like so and you twist it down. Yeah, twist it down. I'll just use the table. Ideally you won't have to do this because you'll be doing it two-handed, but you put pressure on the roller at the bottom whilst at the same time giving it a twist, so it simply comes down and out. So that side's released. I come onto this side. Over here, and we do the same. And release it out. So this has got a hook on the end of it where it hooks into the body. You simply lift it up. Lift it up there. And we want to make sure these are on the right way around. and we'll just put it aside. We'll use it for later. So if we have a look, this machine has had a little bit of a meltdown. It's not too bad. It's had a bit of overheating going on at some stage, I think. That's really quite interesting. But that just comes off. You can just scrape it off. Or it's possibly been rubbing on something. And you'll notice if you get a, if you don't buy the roller from me, if you go ahead and risk it and order a counterfeit roller, the machine will instantly, upon the first turn on, it will melt these inner plastic bushes down completely, and then you'll end up with the steel inner tube of the fuser roller running directly on the metal bearings here, and your fuser unit will be going thump, 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 thump. Simply because the counterfeit rollers, they overheat. Typically, some of them do underheat, but by and large the vast majority of them overheat, and it's pretty obvious with the noise your machine starts making after you've rebuilt this unit and put it back in. So if we have a look, the fingers on these ones, so what's happened with this one is the individuals had a paper jam, the paper is wrapped around this fuser roller, they've got into it with a Stanley knife blade, they've cut it off, and then after making the cut, after a few rotations, this these separator fingers here have ended up just digging into the roller and splitting it and wrecking it. Alright, so in the middle of this roller is a heating lamp, 240 volts for Australia, UK, 110 volts for the US. Now it's very easy to break this lamp. This is the most common lamp that we sell on our website because it's very, very easy to break it. When you're lifting the roller up and out, you can quite easily just snap it and just create all sorts of problems. So the first step is we have to remove this power lead, which goes to this side of the lamp. Alrighty, so you take your pliers once again and you can dig under. Just be careful not to put too much pressure on the top of this plastic because you can break it, and you're simply just giving it a gentle nudge just to get that lead off. Once it moves a little bit, then you can just pull it the rest of the way, and that's that side of the lamp off. On the other side, we're going to do the cheap method today. We don't need to disconnect this side really. All you have to do is, as in previous videos, we're just going to release this lamp. So you just want to undo it slightly. So we're not going to completely undo it. We're just going to loosen it off. That's just so when it pivots at this point here, when we're pulling the roller out, you don't end up breaking or smashing the lamp. Now the next move is we have to remove the inner pins of the roller that lock this gear, the fuser gear, to the fuser roller. So if we have a look at the roller, this is our roller. It just comes wrapped up in newspaper. Dead giveaway you've usually got a bad roller is it comes in a box that says fuser roller on the side of it. So this is the roller. We have, these are the bending points here. Okay, so the gear goes over it, it locks onto it here, and then you bend these pins out, or maybe in on this particular one. Let's have a look. Have a look. Yep, so these ones are bent out. So we just have to bend those in. Now you've got to be careful, you don't want to bend them all the way in. That's how the lamps get smashed. Some people will bend these pins and they'll bend them all the way in, and then when they go and lift the roller out, because they're bent all the way in, they hook on the halogen lamp in the middle and they smash it. So all you have to do is you get a flathead screwdriver, you stick it in and you bend that tab down, and just be really slow and careful about it. If you slip with the screwdriver can slip, go straight in and you'll smash the lamp in the middle. So just be really careful when you're doing it. And we're just prying it in gently. Very carefully prying it down until it's level with the rest of the body. So there you can see we've bent that one back down and now it's level. And that side's unlocked. You've then got to turn the roller around. And then you have to do it on both sides because there's a locking pin on both sides. Alright, so we've now got both sides bent down. And that gear, for all purposes, is now released. And it's free. And now we move on to the next step, which is we have to undo that screw completely. And we're freeing the lamp from the entire body of the fuser unit. So let's grab a screwdriver and we'll undo this screw. Alright, now that screw is out. Now this lamp will follow with the fuser roller as we're pulling it out. The way you've got to do it is you pull the roller up. As you're pulling it up, you just got to be very careful with the lamp. The lamp should come out a little bit and it should just come free of the plastic that's right there. Alright, and when you're bringing it out, you need to make sure on this side you've got the gear with the length bit in the vertical, so that gives you enough room and clearance so that you don't break the lamp inside. So we're just going to lift it up. Okay, so that's up. We've got the lamp free down here, and then you want to start pulling the roller so it's coming out like so. You can leave the bearing here. You want to leave that bearing in its position. You don't want to remove that as well. The conductive bushing that's here, this one isn't plastic, this one's made of graphite, or a combination of graphite and plastic. What that does is it conducts the static electricity that's created by this fuse or roller. As the roller's rotating, it creates static electricity. This bushing here is obviously different to this bushing up here. This one's here just for insulation. This stops the heat from the roller traveling through to the bearings. On this side it does the same, it stops the heat, but it also conducts electricity, and this bearing gets traveled back to the earth on the body, and that eliminates the static charge that's created. So you can see the lamp that's there in the middle. We're just pulling on the roller gently, and we're removing it, leaving the lamp inside untouched. You do not want to touch that lamp, you do not want to sneeze on that lamp, you do not want to get anything on that glass at all, because any impurity on that lamp, oil, touching it with your fingers, the oils that are on your fingers from your body, the moment that lamp heats up, next time it will explode because the oils boil and weaken the glass. And that's our fuser unit with the roller removed. So this machine has two temperature sensors, thermistors as they're called. There's one here, and there's one out here on underneath. So this one's just a traditional normal thermistor that you'd find in any photocopier or printer, and then you've got this band thermistor here. This takes the inner temperature, this takes the outer temperature, and the machine does an average to set its fusing temperature. There is a thermofuse here. So what happens is if you use a cheap counterfeit roller, the roller will overheat, it'll go higher than 200 degrees. And this thermofuse here will cut the power to the lamp, and then you'll get a machine that says heat alarm or cooling down for a while, or machine power will cycle in 15 minutes. Don't touch machine and just let the power cycle. There's some of the errors that you get when you use a counterfeit roller. Or if your thermistor here or here has failed. Alright, so the next step is we're going to prepare for the installation of the new roller. So we'll just set this fuse unit back, we'll bring the old roller to the foreground, and we'll start putting it in. So we'll just remove the paper. You leave the paper on up until the very end if you want to. Just make sure there's no dirt on your surface area that you're working on. And it's just a simple case of grabbing this one off, sticking it on the new roller. Grab this bushing off,